The story begins with a huge airplane flying over the ocean. Outside there's a storm, the wind is howling, and everything feels scary. Inside the plane, a girl is sitting, holding a machine gun. Then the storm grew so intense that the plane lost its balance completely. Within moments, it crashed straight into the ocean. Then, suddenly the scene changes to the beautiful shore of an island. Some people are scuba diving in the water. This is where we meet Jerry, a scuba instructor. When Jerry came out of the water, his boss scolded him. Jerry's girlfriend Sam tried to cheer him up because he was having money problems. She told him, "No matter how poor you are, even if you ride around on that broken scooter, I still want to be with you." Jerry then told Sam a story that after a big storm in the sea, a diver once found a golden antique item underwater. When he sold it, he became very rich. Jerry also had that same hope, but while taking out some water, Jerry hurt himself. Sam smiled and came closer to him. Later, George asked Jerry if he wanted to work with him. Jerry thought about it and agreed, but he had some conditions. They would make a proper contract, and whatever they found would be split 50-50. George liked the deal. The next day, Derek and his girlfriend Amanda arrived on the same island. Derek and Jerry were childhood friends, so they were both very excited to see each other. All of them went out to have fun. Derek told everyone that he had recently finished some work for a client, and in return, the client gave him a house for a few days. And that house came with a private boat. When Jerry heard about the boat, his eyes lit up. It was perfect for their plan. The four of them, Jerry, Sam, Derek, and Amanda, set out to sea. While on the boat, Jerry's watch slipped from his hand and began to sink into the water. He asked Sam for a mask and flippers, saying he would dive down to get it. While underwater, Jerry's hand hit a heavy black stone. He picked it up and brought it up with him. George said that in the old days, stones like this were used for hitting. Jerry suggested they all go back down. Maybe they'd find something more. Under the water, they found some old items. But then Jerry saw something shocking, a crashed airplane. It was the same plane from the start of the story. The four swam closer to it. When Amanda looked inside, she saw a corpse, its face completely ruined by water and time. Derek picked up a packet and returned to the boat. Later, Sam saw the packet and tried to throw it into the sea. Derek stopped her, but just then, Jerry came back, silently took out a golden dagger, cut open the packet, and they spent the whole night looking at what was inside. Derek asked Jerry if he really believed there could be treasure there. Sam explained that big storms often shake the ocean floor, and hidden things come to the surface. Jerry told them that a big cyclone had passed by recently, so it was possible. But Sam warned that going back to that spot wouldn't be easy. They'd need more equipment and a strong boat. That's when Derek remembered someone named Basil, who could lend them money. Derek explained that he had lost everything in his last mission and was now completely broke. The next day, they somehow managed to collect a little money, bought some supplies, and returned to the crash site. Jerry and Derek went underwater to search the wreck. At one point, Jerry noticed Amanda trapped in a part of the plane where there was no water, but breathing was difficult. He angrily asked her something. In the end, they decided to stop the mission and return to the island. Back on land, they began cleaning everything they had recovered from the sea using chemical treatment. When the first artifact came out, everyone stared at it. It had strange writing on it. Derek started thinking about the meaning of the word and said it was connected to pirates or looters. Then, the team found another item, an old silver bell with a map engraved on it. Sam told them about a man who was once a slave, but slowly became the most dangerous pirate on the seas. Hearing this, Derek got excited, thinking they had found a clue to that pirate's treasure. Our pirate, Delmas Thomas, had attacked that ship, and the moment everyone heard it, their faces lit up. Derek asked eagerly, "If we actually find that treasure, how much would it be worth in today's value?" Jerry smiled and replied, "So much. You can't even imagine." The next morning, everyone was getting ready to dive back into the sea, but this time, Jerry made up some excuse to stop Amanda from diving. The team took metal detectors underwater and began scanning. Suddenly, the machine gave a faint beep. Sam, who was up on the boat, was noting down the exact location and every single detail. Down below, Jerry and Derek found a huge cannon. It looked like it was part of the same ship they were looking for. The cannon was so heavy that they planned to tie it with ropes and pull it up. But then Amanda noticed a Coast Guard police boat approaching. If the police saw them illegally retrieving anything, they would lose everything. Jerry, Derek, and Sam stayed hidden underwater, waiting for the police to leave. But just then, another big problem arose. Jerry's watch started beeping. Now they had no choice. They had to leave the cannon behind. As soon as they deflated the airbags, Derek's hand suddenly got trapped under the cannon, and he began sinking deeper with it. Oxygen was running low for everyone, and the cannon was far too heavy to lift. Sam and Jerry combined all their strength and somehow managed to free Derek's hand. Now their oxygen was almost gone. They barely made it to the surface exhausted, but at least alive. When the police didn't find anything on the boat, they left. The cannon hit the seabed with a loud thud. That night, all four of them went to a nightclub. Amanda was full of energy dancing when one of Jerry's old friends came over to say something, but this time they noticed an unfamiliar boat docked right next to theirs. Jerry and Derek exchanged glances. It was clear someone was following them. When they returned from the water, they saw two strange men on their boat. They fight each other's, but in the end, those attackers ran away. But as they fled, one of them dropped his cap. Jerry picked it up, and as soon as he read the name written on it, his expression changed. He took the cap to George and said, "This belongs to one of your guys, right?" George laughed and said, "A lot of people have worked in my company and left. You think I can remember all of them? What am I? Their caretaker?" After a bit more talking, George looked Jerry in the eye and said, "I have the money." Jerry frowned slightly. "We don't even have the proper tools to find the treasure." That's when Derek gave an idea. "The plane wreck is full of cocaine packets. We can sell those and buy equipment. Otherwise, George's people will take everything." But even after hearing this, Jerry refused to agree to the plan. That night, Derek quietly went to Amanda's room and told her everything. The two of them went to the site, and Derek dove back into the plane wreck to retrieve the cocaine packets. The next morning, Derek went straight to Prim, the dangerous gangster and owner of the nightclub, the same man he had fought with earlier. A while later, Derek called Jerry to the boat. When Jerry arrived, Derek, Amanda, and Prim were there. Prim tossed a bag in front of Derek. Inside were the same cocaine packets taken from the plane. Jerry looked at the bag and immediately realized where Derek had gotten them. Now, it wasn't just about the treasure anymore. Prim said, "I want these packets. Where did you get them from?" But no matter what Jerry said, Prim wasn't willing to listen. She pulled out a gun and pointed it straight at Jerry's face. The moment that gun came out, the entire game had turned into a matter of life and death. But steadying himself, Jerry said, "We have something. If I don't get my stuff back, I'll kill the person you love the most." Her men dropped all three of them back on the island. When they returned, Jerry's anger exploded. When Sam found out that Jerry was involved in some kind of drug deal, she was furious. Meanwhile, with the money given by Prim, they bought a high-tech boat and the most advanced equipment. Using some gadgets installed on this boat, Jerry sent strong waves toward the shore. Slowly, the sand began to shift, and what was hidden underneath came into view. Jerry, Derek, and Amanda teamed up to search for the treasure. They found an old bell with the name SS Aura engraved on it, the same ship they had been chasing all along. Now they could legally file a claim on the treasure. Everything seemed to be going well, until a deadly moment struck. While standing on the boat, Jerry heard a strange sound from below. Without wasting a second, he dove into the water. Down there, he saw a shark attacking Amanda. Jerry rushed to save her, but by the time he got her to the surface, Amanda had stopped breathing. At the hospital, the doctor confirmed she was dead. Derek was shattered. Just then, Sam came to meet Jerry, but at that very moment, Jerry's phone rang. It was Prim. Prim asked, "Where's my package?" A little while later, Jerry stopped the car and told Derek to take Sam home. Jerry then met Prim's man, Finn. This time, Jerry had a plan. He took Finn to a secret location and showed him the SS Aura's bell and a golden dagger. Finn knew exactly what they were worth, but everything went wrong. Dead bodies were found under the boat. Just then, George walked out of the bathroom, his hands covered in blood. He said, "Prim tried to double-cross me, so I had to kill him and his men." In that moment, Jerry made a clever move. He jumped straight into the sea. George immediately ordered his men, "Dead or alive, I want him." But Jerry had already planned ahead. He hid in the lower deck of the boat. That very evening, Jerry's phone rang. It was George. George told him something that revealed the entire truth. The police officer was working with George. He had taken Sam directly to George. George knew Jerry was the only one who could lead him to the treasure. But then, the police officer said, "My job's done. You go. I'll finish Sam and dispose of her body." Hearing this, George suddenly shot the police officer dead. Meanwhile, Jerry went alone to the location where he had hidden the treasure. Sam was tied up on the ground, and beside her lay the officer's corpse. George threatened Jerry again. "If you want Sam alive, take me to the plane." Jerry said, "All right, let's make a deal. You let Sam go, and I'll show you the entire shipwreck under the water." Underwater, George found the same old bell. Now he was certain this was the treasure's location. Above, Sam was still tied up, but she dragged the police officer's dead body, took a knife, and cut off his hand to free herself. She escaped, swimming away as fast as she could. Meanwhile, in the plane wreck, another one of George's men came looking for Jerry. Jerry and Derek began to run, but the man fired a spear gun, and the spear went straight into Derek's stomach. Blood gushed out instantly, and in that moment, a shark in the water lunged straight at the man, and that's where his story came to an end. Now, George tried to shoot Jerry, but Jerry used his brain. He quickly flipped an oxygen cylinder upside down. In an instant, that cylinder shot forward like a missile towards George. It went straight into the plane's fuel tank, and there was a massive explosion. The entire plane turned into a giant ball of fire. 6 weeks later, the sea was completely calm. This time, they began pulling the cannon up towards the surface, but suddenly, the rope snapped. The cannon dropped back into the depths of the ocean. As it fell, it crashed directly into an old sunken ship. The impact broke apart a section of the ship's structure, and that's when they saw it. Over there, Sam, Jerry, and the entire team's eyes were filled with joy. Their hearts were pounding with excitement. At last, they had found the treasure they'd been searching for. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.